scoured the internet and found what you had to say. And now, I shall expose you.
Hello beautiful people, I'm the Luschmaster. Welcome to my channel. Oh yeah, of course. Subscribe. This is everything you had to say about Howard Joel Wolowitz from The Big Bang Theory. What a package this guy is. He can mimic, can portray a creep, a nerd, and a loving husband and a father in the same show. Highly underrated and extremely talented. I personally felt that he was on par with Jim Parsons' Sheldon whenever they were on screen together. A dramatic actor, a comedian, an impressionist, and a musician. Howard is my favorite. I never get bored of watching him. His character development was the best in the show. Howard was the only guy I never got sick of. Howard's character is out of this world and the universe. Howard is the best dungeon master. Believe me, I'm an engineer. The show would never have survived without Wolowitz. What a great character, played by the perfect actor. Wolowitz's Indian accent and Stephen Hawking impressions are priceless. They're all funny, but Howard has the most range. He is the most versatile and funniest character on the show. I love him. His response when he came home and Bernadette was dressed like Cinderella, I thought I would die laughing. He's such a fearless performer. The moment he says, "No," was absolutely hilarious. Wolowitz as the bad student is one of my favorites. I love where he says, "He ate a butterfly." Howard's funniest moments were when he was still a creep rather than the whipped husband, but I also loved his card trick with Sheldon. Come on, Howard is the funniest character in the show and nobody can change my mind. The Prince Charming is hilarious. I watched it like 1,000 times and still laugh so hard. Whenever Howard yells at his mom, it's just golden. Their conversations were always perfect. Such a shame that she passed. May she rest in peace. She was a legend. The way he says, "Corolla." Oh my goodness, him greeting Mark Hamill. The spitwad was my favorite. I am still laughing. My absolute favorite part is when he is all whacked out and paranoid and he gets up close to the screen and lowers his voice and says, "They left dogs up here in the 60s. And he's got the crazy eyes. Still hilarious every time I watch it. Lol, his facial expressions are everything. I love that "don't toy with me, woman" part. This character was made to be annoying and creepy. This actor is so talented that made all love him regardless of the character. He is truly charismatic. The song they all sing to Bernadette when she's in the hospital is one of my favorite Howard scenes. After completing the series, I now only watch it for Howard. I love this character. I find Howard so interesting and so odd at the same time. Dressing up as Howard and Bernadette was a terrible move from Sheldon and Amy. Although I think Amy never really wanted it, she was just supporting Sheldon. Howard just dressed up as a joke. He didn't hurt Sheldon's feelings, but when they did this, Bernadette's feelings were hurt. Just because Sheldon overreacted over Howard's joke. Not cool. Howard Wolowitz is my favorite character on The Big Bang Theory. I think that if they started remaking Pink Panther movies, he should definitely get the part of the inspector. He got a lot better after they introduced Bernadette. No Howard moment is better than his apology to Bernadette that made Penny cry. I love Howard's descent into madness. Pre-Bernadette Howard is probably the best because he was just a womanizing, lonely pervert, which sadly in today's society made him funny. He still has his moments though since meeting and marrying Bernadette. I like how he's evolved since then, especially since having a kid. But I don't think any fan can argue that Howard's all-time best moments are between him and his mother, God rest her soul. Rest in peace, Carol and Susie. You will be missed. For how stupid his first song for Bernadette was, the second one always makes me tear up a bit. I died with laughter when Howard and Raj were French. Oh my god, the creepy way Howard looks at the robotic arm. And then the counter judgment look of the sarcastic nurse. Totally deserving. The dude was a horrible person. He even rejected his current wife at first because she was not attractive enough. Was talking like only women who looked like Megan Fox in Transformers would be worthy, even though she was way out of his league and so beautiful. Howard is a good dad with amazing friends for all of them to go through all this effort to avoid waking up the baby. I always felt sorry for him and I didn't think they made a big enough fuss when he returned from space. They all wanted him to just shut up about it. The dude went into space. I would let my friends harp on about that for as long as they needed to. It's the most exciting thing that has happened to any of them. I learned to love this character, especially when he met Bernadette. I love their moments, like when they sang her a song, the time he asked forgiveness after the bachelor party, etc. I love their relationship better than the other couples. Howard should be put in a skit with Barney Stinson and outdo each other in magic. How in the world Howard passed the psychological test to become an astronaut is beyond me. You gotta respect Howard's confidence. I love Howard. He's so spontaneous and witty, and he does not hesitate being himself. There's a tie between Shelley and Howie, and it's so hard to pick who's my favorite. I love Lenny and Raj too, but somehow Shelley and Howie are, different. I love Howard's beatboxing. His Christopher Walken impression. I really like the episode when Howard put Sheldon through trials in order to set up a meeting with Stephen Hawking. If I had a friend like him, I would be a happy man. It's a shame they never showed if he got his doctorate. My theory is that all of the messages in the cards are true, except for Sheldon's. Sorry, Sheldon. The birthday card is in there with a little picture of Howard's dad holding a baby Howard, and also on the back of the card it explains that his other life caught up to him and he felt like he had to leave, but he tells Howard not to do the same no matter what happens, and he also points out that he was at the school auditorium during his graduation, and this is just my headcanon, it's not really backed up by anything in the show. I think he may just have wrote it in. He couldn't bring himself to talk to him because he felt like he wasn't good enough to have Howard as a son. So he, just out of shame, said nothing. But even though he couldn't bring himself to talk to him, he was still really proud. I have a headcanon that the reason the astronauts are particularly mean to Howard is because they know he's the one who designed the faulty space toilet a few years ago. Here's what I think. The letter was actually none of the things the group shared, but they all wanted Howard to feel better about it. So they all made up a heartfelt lie, except for Sheldon, who came up with nothing heartfelt at all and just copied pop culture. I think that it would be better that his friends all band together to make Howard feel better. Howard had 3 wives: his mother, Raj, and Bernadette. Howard looks like he took a yellow submarine time machine and left the Beatles back in the 70s and ended up here. What if the theme song is written by Howard and Raj? They have a band and never create a really good song. Then why the song they play throughout the whole season wasn't a true created by those two? If you think about it, you can say that the lyrics is funny and gives clownly vibes, which explain Howard, but the whole similitude with something big as the creation of the universe must explain Raj as a romantic guy who wants to give the best for the poetic guy. What do you think? What do I think? I think I did not even understand what that was. But we'll carry on. This is why we desperately need the show Young Wolowitz. I think Howard should not have changed. I've been watching The Big Bang Theory for a very long time, and for as long as I can remember, Howard had just been an average person within the group of main characters. Recently, I obtained seasons 1 to 5 on DVD, and after watching the first seasons, I realized that before Howard met Bernadette, became a couple, Howard was a very different character. In The Big Bang Theory, every character has one big character trait. Sheldon has very bad social skills, Leonard has to deal with Sheldon, and Raj has trouble with girls. During the first few seasons, Howard had one big trait. He was kind of a pervert, and that made him an interesting character. When Howard and Bernadette became a couple, Howard stopped being such a pervert because he found a girl, which made his character very boring because he didn't have an interesting character trait. And I think he should have stayed a perv for most of the show. So this is what I think should have happened during the beginning of season 10. Howard and Bernadette meet, and at the end of season 10, they get married. During season 11, they have their first child. During season 12, they have their second child. And then the final episode stays the same. Howard was at school with Leonard and has been his longest friend. My boy kind of killing it with this bowl cut. I personally think Wolowitz looks better with a beard. Howard with a beard looks really good. He actually looked like an adult instead of an overgrown bowl-cut toddler. Why didn't he keep the beard? He is still wearing his buckle belt in space. LOL. Howard's costume is hideous. Howard is known for his tight pants and dickies. Well, space is ruined. That's the exact sentiment Sheldon had when Howard broke the news about being an astronaut. Tonight, there will be 2 moons in the sky. Such an amazing and underrated line. Great. I'll do that when I want to be the first guy in space to get a wedgie. I love that line. You're playing D&D. You're playing D&D. This whole apartment is playing D&D. I am the sword master. With that scene, I knew I loved this character. Sincerely yours, Howard Wolowitz. Winnie the Pooh is out of the honey tree. Not just the finger, the moving finger. That just gets me every time. Howard had the "Are you sure" napkin on hand because he knew Missy would say no, LOL. The whole show is hilarious. There's no way I can pick one scene as the funniest. But one scene I really love is when Sheldon's mom goes sightseeing with them and they stop in a church and she makes them each say a prayer. And Howard says to Raj, nope, you only get one wish. LOL. The best Howard astronaut scene. No, I slept in a hole I dug in the ground with my bare hands, and at some point during the night, an armadillo crawled in and it spooned me. Open a window, it's about to get smug in here. If I didn't have you, life would be blue. I'd be Doctor Who without the TARDIS. We're going to be parents. We're going to be able to board planes first. Love is not a sprint, it's a marathon. A relentless pursuit that only ends when she falls into your arms or hits you with a pepper spray. Who else Googled astronaut screams for 9 minutes? If you have gotten to this part of the video, comment the spaceship. See you again next time. Tra-la-la.